these players are both nostalgic and very... It's a good watch, I promise.
Yeah, extremely experienced. And I will say, I think despite the firepower that we have, Keo, Kiver, Brian, and I know that we have Goss playing with FTWin, or at least had in the previous set that we watched them for. A lot of firepower for both teams, but one of the things that's really going to be the deciding factor, I think, is going to come down to the support play, and we have two of the absolute best in the West doing so. Gray for Ice Cube has loads and loads of experience, and Bursty on the other side for FTWin, who I personally think is one of the most accomplished and best support players out there, really understands the role and almost always seems to be providing the right thing for the team in every single moment.
I would agree with that. I think for a long time, watching Bursty's support play was the role model. People, that's what you wanted to do. If you were a support player and you weren't really sure what to do, you watch Bursty, and Bursty, Bursty's play really illuminated that.
And it looks like we're going back to a classic, Mel.
I really love Inkblot Art Academy.
Inkblot Art Academy Splat Zones is where we will be heading, unless there is some change that I've missed, but I want to say that is where we'll be starting our venture. It is only a best of 3, by the way, this set, so I always think there's more and more pressure on these shorter sets. Every mistake is that much more punished for, and it's something that does not ever put me at ease, but these players are more experienced than myself, and I would expect that they're more than under control.
So Barry, do you have any predictions for this set?
Oh, so much riding on it. Well, I would never involve myself with predictions, but if I were to have to wager something, I would look all the way back at every single set that these teams have played today, and I would see that
You would see that you would like a game 3.
I would see that I would like a game 3, but I'd also see that both teams have been very, very strong through their runs here. FTWin did not drop a map until they faced off against Kings, who, again, already into Grand Finals, so has to be one of the favorites, if not the favorite of the tournament. So you run into them, and it's understandable. But on the other side of things, Ice Cube getting knocked down into losers by Starburst, who they did take a map off of, so it's not as if these teams are getting sent here by any sort of slouches. It is two of, if not the best 2 teams we have in the tournament who have sent them here, and therefore it'd be hard to pick a winner, but I would just give the edge slightly to FTWin.
Okay, I see how it is. I see how it goes.
But in a game 3.
In a game 3, correct. Right. Well,
that's not an expectation, that's a hope. A wish.
Yes, I am right there with you, my friend. But we'll just have to see. You think Brian's gonna ever bring back his charger?
Well, if there were ever a need to do it, there would be a good reason to. Zerazi has one of the meanest chargers around as well, so if you wanted to fight fire with fire, this could be the cause for it. However, I don't know. According to some sources, Brian is a Rapid Blaster Pro Deco player, or an Enzap player, or something.
Exposure player.
Yeah. There was I think it was the Area Cup had him listed as basically the same role as Gray.
I did see that.
Yeah. Well, of course, maybe we're in for a surprise and he truly does, but that said, it won't be a charger coming out from Zera. It'll instead be, I believe, the Vanilla Jet sculpture, and Brian will be sticking with his more recently patented custom exposure. I say recently, it's been like 2020 since that page.
It's been a couple of years, no big deal.
Yeah, time is an enigma. But that said, these teams are not weird. We're very familiar with them, and they're also very familiar with each other. Armor's coming out from both teams, and missiles coming out from FTWin as well to try to push Ice Cube a little bit away from this tower, zone.
we have so many nightmares with tower control H-Bot. Oh my god. Yes, we do. But you know, these zones are super contested. Kipper try to use those instant pop bubbles to gain a little bit of turf as he pulls out that foil squeezer. Yeah,
and it's a role that we don't necessarily see Kipper on very often, but it's something that probably suits him very, very well. Being able to use those bubbles especially, he's one of the best when it comes to sharking in small pockets of space. So to be surprised by some nuclear bubble blower, that sounds very unpleasant. Yeah, it's a horror game. It's also a horror game there for that 52 gal being stuck in that corner with bombs being rolled underneath their feet. Not the place you want to be.
Not that place indeed. And Ryan is trying to gain a little bit of space with that Explosion. Ray popping that ink armor, but I think it's difficult for them to kind of move up with that ink armor, just given what is going on. But I think I don't want to speak too soon. I don't want to say nothing yet.
I know what you're thinking, and I'm also thinking it too. I'm wondering how have Ice Cube not capped that zone? The bubble's the baller. It really did seem like they should have been able to take it. The Keel has just popped off here for a multi-kill, and he's going to get a third. Could get the quad, but couldn't get taken down there just a little bit in time for Obito to possibly save the day. Still doesn't have the numbers advantage, though, for Ice Cube, and so this zone is going to continue ticking away should FTWin put a little bit more paint down to take it back under their control.
And, yeah, this is going back and forth, and for now the control does lie with Ice Cube, but I don't know, maybe we'll see if they're able to hold on to that zone. It's really like an ink bath out here. It's just one splat after the other, after the trade after the other, and right now even the zone is contested.
Is it really a bath until we've seen someone go in the water?
Is that your hopes? Is that your prediction?
It's happened a bit here, but it probably will not happen on this one. Not just yet, anyway. Goss bringing out that Booyah Bomb, but it's going to be getting focused by everybody, and despite being able to deploy it, it will go down before being able to scoot away. And that is going to be really, really good for Ice Cube, as they're able to bring the zone under their control. These missiles will force Ryan backwards, but with good movement, able to get to a nice position, continue contesting FTWin, and this is going to provide Ice Cube with the lead.
They certainly do, and you know, oh my god! Kyo had every person shooting at him! I think Ice Cube definitely is working together as a team pretty well, and you know, it's demonstrated here in their win. Wow.
I would, 100% agreed. I think the focus not only on the other members of FTWin as a group, but the focus on the zone as a group is probably the difference maker in this match. I think if FTWin had perhaps been able to give their attention to the zone all at once when they had it around the 27 marker before having that penalty put on them, perhaps they take it down to a little bit more of a comfortable position and they're able to get back in.
That is quite the possibility, but you know, I think what we want to mention is definitely that Ice Cube knew exactly who to focus on, because Brian was there on their platform trying to paint, and you know, Kyo was targeting Brian, and immediately everyone on Ice Cube was like, Kyo is targeting our anchor player, let's get him, you know?
That's just good comms right there.
Yeah, for sure.
And seeing the stats, of course, as well. Once again, it's the Booyahs, right? The Booyahs, that's the difference maker. Neither Kyo nor Kiver offering any Booyahs, but compared to the rest of FTWin, Goss, far, far away, yet Obito and Gray cancel everyone out on FTWin alone. So, gonna harp on it, but the Booyahs is the difference maker.
The Booyahs are definitely a difference maker, you know? Next time when you're playing solo queue and your teammate Booyahs you, maybe think twice about Booyahing back.
Also, take a look at that time zone held. 52 seconds for FTWin, 51 seconds for Ice Cube. It just goes to show how important it is to make a solid push all the way through, rather than chipping away at the zone every now and again. So despite having more control, FTWin do lose this first match, but it will be their choice to send it to Rainmaker Muscleforge Fitness Mellana. This is not a map we have seen yet today. How do you feel?
It's definitely a map, that's for sure. if you're like you like pumping iron and making really fast Rainmaker pushes, this is the map for you.
So you're telling me that there's about 9 reasons to go here?
I think so. Maybe like 9 gains. You might get a couple of gains here and there, right?
You can have some whole grain to get there.
Yeah, you might need some, some dietary changes, like some bread.
And of course, once you leave, you can always come back. So, boy, I hope people know what we're talking about.
Oh no.
They have no idea. But what we do know is FTWin are readied up and ready to go. So I expect to see them running a very, very aggressive composition here. Ice Cube able to kind of grind away in that last match a little bit more steadily. I don't know if Brian will be able to bring back the Explosher for this one. It's something that I have seen a couple of backliners run for Rainmaker, but I don't know if it'd be my first pick. However, Brian's Explo is one of the absolute best, so if anyone's going to do it and pull it off successfully, do you think it will be Brian?
Well, we'll see in just a second. As we're going into this, this could be very quick, folks. You might not want to blink this entire match. Maybe.
Well, I said fast comp from FTWin. It's actually going to be a little bit faster from Ice Cube. Brian bringing out, I can't believe I forgot, the patented Sploosh 7. One of the best options for a backliner to turn frontliner when it comes to Rainmaker. That Ultra Stamp is going to be ultra scary, and Brian is one of the best actually with that Sploosh 7, so it shouldn't be seen as sort of some sort of gambit or
one-off thing.
Yeah,
it's
not a trick.
Definitely a well-practiced, well-versed Blue 7.
And with one member down on the side of FTWin and the Ultra Stamp coming out, this could actually be an opportunity.
No.
Oh no.
This way! We got it this way from Gray! This is wow, that was a really... Remember that time I said don't blink, folks? Don't blink.
Don't blink.
You might miss something.
And Kiver nearly able to get to the Rainmaker there with those bubbles, but now it's actually looking the opposite way. Obito out of position is just going to be great here to try to stop this Rainmaker push. Does so, ends up finding a double somehow, and is still alive despite having another member of FTWin around. Perhaps wisely backs away, and Gray stopping what could have been actually an immediate counter push.
Yeah, that could have turned out really bad for Ice Cube, but Gray, as a support player, is a really good support player, and what better way to play support than to not let the enemy win?
Very, very true, and being in crucial positions, obviously massive there for Ice Cube. We'll see if Goss is able to find anything with that Inkjet, but I think Ice Cube ended up playing it pretty smartly.
Oh.
How many shots did he tank? It looked like Tio did enough, but it ended up just not working out there, sadly. I think only getting 3 shots maybe instead of 4 needed, and that's going to leave Ice Cube in a very good position with wonderful map control and plenty of time here to kill. Looks like that will be all they're aiming to do as one member goes down, and the rest are now pushing out Obito.
Oh my god. Gray does drop that Rainmaker over on that right side, which is probably one of the best places to drop a Rainmaker if you have to drop it.
Yes, it's really, really cheesy sometimes in Rainmaker, but if you can leave the Rainmaker in a difficult position to recover, then the clock is very much your friend. So that said, I don't know if that one was worthwhile there. Perhaps a little bit more time getting back in and helping your team get back in could have been good. Goss is in a wonderful position, and there is another flank coming through as well, so FTWin are having a very good opportunity to claw this one back, and if Zera can get these picks here, that would be absolutely crucial, but 1 point being the difference maker. However, a wipe onto Ice Cube, and if they can get this pop, they can get the win.
They indeed get the win. I hope none of y'all blinked, right? You would have missed something, I'm sure.
You could have missed something. FTWin pulling it back in classic style, I would say. I feel like we've seen them do this here before, right? Have we not seen them bring out some sort of incredible comeback?
I believe it. Yes.
This might be their map.
I think it is, and you know, I think they know it for sure. But you know, what we did see was like each member of not FTWin being able to hold their own and being able to take the left flank or taking the right side and being able to watch the drops and get the pigs. And I think by spreading out that attention, Ice Cube kind of lost a little bit of focus about where they were supposed to look, and I think it really made it tough for Ice Cube to make a meaningful defense from that.
Yeah, I think obviously we have seen a couple of teams, Shaq, pull off a successful left side push with the Rainmaker going across grates, but I'd say 98% of the time the game-winning push comes from the right. However, as you correctly pointed out, moving a player into a flanking position by sending them across that rail on the left can have so much impact, as all of the other members of Ice Cube were looking far left to try to slow down the Rainmaker. Zera coming through with the blaster and doing so much damage. Ended up being the real difference maker.
Unfortunately, this time the Booyahs weren't the difference maker.
It's correlation, not causation, so, you know.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that. You know, we are going to be going into a Game 3 very soon. This is what you predicted, right, Barry?
Yes. I also said FTWin would come out on top, but don't hold me to that part. Just hold me to the Game 3. Let me be 1 for 1 instead of 1 for 2, or let me be 2 for 2 after it happens.
1 for 1, and then you stop making, you know, guesses, and then you're fine.
You end as a winner?
Yeah, end as a winner.
No more one more round. None of the one last game. LG. Why I quit competitive Splatoon after that Philly local?
Yeah, exactly. You come out, you win, and then you quit. You end a
winner. Speaking of winners, I think we are all a bit of a winner. Well, I feel like a winner. Clan Blitz Piranha Pit will be where this set ends, and it's a map that I really enjoy. I know there are people who don't love it as much as I do, as it can be a little bit of a snowball and it can be challenging to get out of a spawn at times. But I think it's something that I'm really happy to see Clan Blitz being played here. As once again, we've talked about the diversity that Western tournaments have in their mode picks. So to see clams coming through, it's about time.
Yeah, I think this is also a Clan Blitz match that can go pretty quickly. Because the map is just one straight away from one basket to the other, it can be one of those matches where you also don't want to blink. I'm sorry, y'all are gonna have eye problems at the end of this.
You just might, but hopefully it'll all be worth it for the players here, because Anonymous has donated a $20 donation, so that will bring our projected total post fees up to $1,112.52 of the prize pool. Going, of course, to possibly some of these players that we are about to see coming through here. Brian on the Bamboozler, I mean, it wasn't about time.
I mean, this is a prime Bamboozler map.
Yes, it is. And of course, it won't be entirely easy. Zerazi does have that custom Death Squelcher, also a very good weapon on this map. And with Rays available, it could be very challenging to have any sort of strong pushes or strong defenses hold up against that Ray, as we do see Kibber having to already jump out versus the Ray. And that's offered a lot of space for the members of FTWin.
Indeed it is. Both teams kind of holding on to a lot of clams, and Goss getting put into a little bit of a difficult situation right here. Unfortunately getting taken out by Kibber and company, but this may be an opportunity for them to move up, but I'm not sure that they're quite ready to make that push yet.
No, and Kiver thought he had bubbles, didn't end up actually having bubbles, so might have missed out on a kill there, but thankfully didn't get punished for it and is still alive and able to help contribute to this push. And I think with these missiles that could come through from Brian, especially with how grouped up FTWin are by their basket, this could be the opening that they need if they just coordinate things correctly.
But I don't know, that Stingray coming out is going to make it difficult for them. The Stingray disappeared, so now I don't know where it went.
Well, one other thing that disappeared was the attention at protecting that basket for FTWin. Ray sneaking in a football there, and not only that, but I'm pretty sure they got the jump in with Brian's football. I mean, that is a free 40 points for basically nothing.
Yeah, definitely. And we've always talked about how Climb Blitz it's just so important to be able to make that first push really count. That you don't have a penalty to worry about. This is such an interesting series of jumps. Teammates are just jumping back to spawn to each other to the other side of the map. So it's interesting. Everyone's playing Frogger here.
No one wanted to make the fatal error of getting wiped, especially on a map that can have serious consequences. Kiver nearly staying alive. That burst bomb was heat-seeking, basically. Getting rid of a clam there, getting rid of a couple, not trying to give away anything to FTWin, as they already have 21, 22, 23 clams ready if they're able to find a push with their armor and their Booyah Bomb and their Stingray. That goes down. Oh, that was so good for Ice Cube. Massive, massive plays there from Obito to get the pick onto Zera Z. And now look at the tides turn, how quickly Ice Cube have moved in and taken out the members of FTWin.
But unfortunately, I don't think Ice Cube really has the clams ready to be able to go. So while they did pop the basket and they do get a couple clams past that penalty, I think they're not really going to make a significant push, giving a little bit of an opportunity to now FTWin to kind of push up.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to think about the time that they killed with that, and the claims that FTWin ended up losing. I think they had something like 23. Of course, now they're sitting at a very comfortable 35, so if they're able to open up that basket, then they might be able to take lead too. 3 footballs ready, and this fight down by Useless is so important. Obito ending up winning it against Kyo. Not going to allow that football to get in easily, and finding another follow-up pick too, so it's just going to be the one football. Zera having to back away with that last remaining tower clam. Meanwhile, Bursty going down, and as much as they've had good clam control, FTWin just have not been able to find the opening to use them.
That is very, very true. And Zera Z getting a pick on Kiver right there, I think that is going to be pretty big for FTWin to kind of have a little bit of space to be able to collect some more clams. Oh, unfortunately, who was that? I think it was Bert. Yeah, Bert getting taken down by that bomb.
Everyone in the meantime is getting taken down by the other members of Ice Cube. Just Kyo left alive and is going to have to try to juggle these footballs, I think, but I don't know that there's time for the juggling. I think it's
GG.
It's GG's, and Ice Cube will eliminate FTWin from SuperJump 2 and move on to face off against Jackpot in the losers semifinals.
Yeah, that was just so impressively played by Ice Cube. We saw how they knew exactly what that push was supposed to be. So every push that they made, they knew exactly what the purpose of that push was. Whether it was to, get those 2 clams in and immediately jump out. Whether it was to stall for time, like you said, for that one push that barely brought down the penalty. Or whether it was just to knock out the game. So being able to recognize what these pushes were for and to communicate that with their teammates is just such an expert place to be.
And I also think it speaks to the experience that Ice Cube have, especially with one another. They've obviously all been playing together for some time now. FTWin's roster a fair bit different from what we're used to seeing them have over the years. So those sneaky plays that we saw coming through from Gray, maybe never quite on the cards for FTWin, and that's a big difference maker at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. It certainly is. I just like looking at the Booyah statistics. We do see, kudos to Ice Cube. We see a couple of booyahs coming up from every member of the team. So you love to see it. The teamwork.
Yeah, Brian gave one.
You know, one booyah is better than no booyahs.
This is true, but also I think seeing how important it is to score, right? 24 seconds is how long the basket was. I have to think that can't quite be right. The FTWin did not have the basket open longer for than Ice Cube did. I'd have to say that Ice Cube probably had the basket open. What they broke it 3 times, I think. So they probably had it open